All right, welcome everyone. We are just going to have a casual conversation about what it's like to be a Young Living brand partner tonight. We're going to start off with just the very, very basics of what you need to get started as a brand partner. And then we're going to go into some fun sharing time. So I'm Gina Lichtenberger, if you don't know me, and I started using oils in 2012. And I've never looked back. And if you know our story, if you know my story, you know that I never planned on doing this as a business, but oils completely changed my life and I couldn't shut up about it. Next thing you know, I am making money and I didn't even know that it was possible. My oils were getting paid for. And then Emily said, "Hey, this is fun. This could be fun. Let's do this as a business." And we started sharing, and the rest is history. This is my full-time job. It is my livelihood for my entire family. And I still love the oils and use them just as much, if not more, than I did the first day that I started. Emily, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Emily. I just had my 10-year oil anniversary the beginning of February. And I was thinking about it, like how crazy that it's been 10 years. I mean, I know like Melanie, you've been around for probably almost that long, close to that long. Like it's been so like 10 years. It's just crazy. So anyways, but I'm really thankful to Gina. She got me started with Young Living. And yeah, like she said, I used the oils for quite some time, maybe like 6 to 8 months before I decided to do it as a business. Didn't even really know much about it, but decided to share. And it's been such a blessing to our family and been able to cover, everything in the beginning, from groceries and extra things that we needed to now just our income and our livelihood. So we love this company. I love the products. And yeah. And again, so I've been sick I got some crud this last week. My kids had it. And then of course, mom got it because, just taking care of everybody. So anyways, I'm feeling better, but excuse my, if I'm coughing or whatever. So I'm going to mute myself while I'm not chatting.
You're good. Thank you, Emily. And a funny part of the story, which some of you know, but probably not many of you, is that whenever Emily wanted to sign up, I don't know if I talked you into it or if you're just like, "Hey, I want to try this. I want to try this. My kids are always sick." And so I was like, "Okay, well, sign up. Here's what you do. But you're going to get this box and you're going to get all this information about the business and just throw all that away because you're not going to want to do the business. And you don't want to even read all that stuff." I was so in the beginning, so anti network marketing. I had such a misconception of what it was like. And so it was almost embarrassing to me. And I'm just being completely honest. So that's kind of what I would say when I sign people up, you'll get this information about the business, but don't worry, you don't have to do it. Throw that information away. Please don't say that to people. Not the best, but it worked. I mean, look at Emily. But that said, all you need to do to be a brand partner is you have to get a business essentials kit, which in the beginning, it didn't even come with all of this. I mean, it was just 2 sheets of paper, I think, that told you about how to do it as a business. But now, if you want to be a brand partner, you go in there. If you're a customer, you just go in and you put the business essentials kit in your cart. It's $14.95, and that's all you have to do. Order that. They send you a book and a lot of really important information that tells you how to get started. It's really everything you know to get started. There are a lot of people who feel like they have to know all of the ins and outs and everything. They have to have all the training before they can even start. You literally don't have to do that. All you need is that information and the willingness to share what you know, the willingness to get to know your products, the willingness to fall in love with your products, and then to share the testimonies that you have built. And then once that starts happening, then it just becomes a natural thing for you. So the business essentials kit, and they'll have you sign a brand partner agreement. And the other thing you want to do right away, or you want to tell your people to do if you're having people sign up for brand partner, is to make sure that they go in there and put their information in so that they can get direct deposit, because they will get paid either way. they'll get credits on their account if they haven't signed that agreement to get the direct deposit. But some people want the paycheck. Most people want to have that cash money. Some people just want to turn around and use it on their order, which is totally fine, especially in the beginning. But make sure that you tell them about that so that they have the option to do that. And then and then if you are ready to refer people, and wait, are you going to talk about that? You're not going to talk about that, Emily, are you? Because your voice. Okay, I'm going to have Emily talk about the how you get paid here in a minute. But if you're ready to refer people, once you get started, you get your business essentials kit, and then you have people who want to sign up. All you have to do is send them, well, you can just give them youngliving.com and then give them your member number and have them go in there and place their order and put your member number in the enroller and sponsor spot. You can do that. Or you can very easily go to the youngliving.com website, and there on the drop-down menu, there's something that says share YL. And if you click that, it will be a pre-populated link that has all of your information already in it. So if you send that link to them, text it, even if you're sitting right next to them, it's just easy for you just to be like, okay, here's a link. I'm going to text it to you right now, and then have them click on that link to place their order, and it will pre-populate your member number in there so that they will be placed in the correct place. So it's really, really super easy to do. And that, I mean, that's really the easiest thing to do. So right now, for a while, sorry, I'm being distracted because someone's checking into the place where I have an Airbnb and a wellness collaborative, and someone's coming here to do a training, and they're trying to get in the door right now. And I'm sitting here talking, and I had texted them the information on how to get in the door, but I'm like listening to them rattle it. So sorry, distracted. Okay. Emily, help me out here. What was I even saying?
I don't know. I can talk about bonuses. I'm curious on the call, like how many of you are like new within the last year, or is everybody? Okay, awesome. Sorry. When did you sign up, Jill? Or when did you start doing the business?
I think probably 4 months ago.
Awesome. Yay. Who else?
But I've been using oils for the past couple of years. Sorry.
What was that?
I've been using the oils for 2 years now.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm going to just talk really quickly about the bonuses. Most of you know, I mean, we're going over this again just because things have changed so much in the last year or so. We wanted to just really drive home like what you can earn and actually how amazing it is. So when somebody buys the starter bundle, you get the $25 starter bundle bonus. It's a mouthful. Starter bundle bonus for $25, but also you get 50% for that first month. So of whatever their PV is. So if they do buy the starter bundle, that's 100 PV. So you're going to earn $75 because you're getting 50% of that PV, plus on top of that, you're getting that starter bundle bonus. So if they order something that's 100 PV that isn't the starter bundle, you're still making 50%. You just don't get that $25 bonus. So for a while there, I really liked how they changed it a while back, how you didn't have to, well, like how you still don't have to buy a starter kit to get started. But that is really where the money is. If you're looking to make something, right away in the get-go, getting that extra $25 is huge. So it's pretty amazing that they can spend, 100 and however much it ranges from, I think 130 to, an Aria that's super, 260 or something, but that you can get $75 off of that 100 PV is so generous of Young Living. So I have kind of resorted back to sharing about the starter bundles. We do have, they're paring them down. I think for a while there, it felt a little overwhelming because we had a lot to offer. But what I've noticed over the last few years is like, let's make this as simple as possible for people. So there's probably a bundle that you can find that you can share about, but if not, make your own, create your own 100 PV and get somebody to 100 PV, because one, it unlocks the discount for them. And two, you know, you're getting 50% of that commission. So it's always a good idea to, you know, get them to 100 PV. But yeah, that's the first 50%, or the first month you get 50%, then you get 25% on anything that they order in months 2 or 3. So now you can add your starter kit on loyalty rewards when they sign up. So if you have Sally signing up with a starter kit, encourage her to put it on loyalty rewards. I always tell people, you can cancel this at any time. This is nothing like, you know, you're not signing your life away by doing this. But I'm like, if you ordered this month and then next month find $50 worth of products, you're going to get a free diffuser. So they're still doing the free diffuser when you place 2 months consecutively of loyalty rewards. So encourage people to put that starter kit on loyalty rewards. Then the next month they're going to spend at least 50 and you're going to earn 25% of that too. So, it's really a win-win for both the new customer and you as the brand partner as well. So I've really refocused recently, probably within the last couple months, of just like getting people back on bundles, and because they're created for a reason. They're a really easy way to start, especially, I think I'm probably going to call it the wrong thing, but it's like a Thieves Home or Thieves Loyalty bundle or something like that. I love getting people started with that. So if I have people over, or if I'm talking about it at, like, you know, in my small group, or, you know, whatever, wherever I'm at, I generally recommend that, just because it kind of covers a broad base of like easy beginner items. And I'm pretty sure it has the laundry soap in it. I mean, just things that we use all the time and are such easy ways to ditch and switch. So I just got carried away with that. But my point being, get people started with a starter bundle and encourage them to be on loyalty rewards. If you're trying to do points for the Kona challenge, you're getting like extra points for doing that. And then encourage them to place an order the next month. I mean, there is like a statistic that if you have somebody order 3 months in a row on loyalty rewards, they are more than likely, you know, going to stay on it. I can't remember the numbers, but it's pretty high. So I think that's it. I think that's it for me, Gina.
Yeah, sorry, I got so confused there for a
No, that's
second.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is like, switching was really great, because we had a lot of people who were coming and saying like, I want the hormone oils. So then we'd be like, okay, well, you can get, you know, Progestins Plus and Clary Sage and this, but if you also get the starter bundle, you know, it was like this long-winded way around it. And so just being able to like create bundles with the wish list, which that's another way to do it, but you don't have to know about all this in the beginning, but you can literally go into your VO, your virtual office, and you can create a wish list for any number of topics. And then you can just send them like exactly what they need. Even if it's someone that you're just talking to, like you're sitting in a baseball game with someone, you let them use your deep relief, and, you know, you start talking about oils, then you can just quickly create a wish list that has deep relief and a couple other things in it. And you can send them that. They can sign up that way. But I agree with Emily, the bundles are always the best way. And especially the premium starter bundle, I'm always, for the rest, you know, for forever. It literally is every single thing you need. So that's the one we recommend. Another reason to get to the 100 PV is because to be commission qualified, in order to get commission, you need for at least your order or your customer's order, somebody on your first level, to be at 100 CV. So it has to be 100. So that's a great way, like, you know, if they get a bundle, and then you're going to be commission qualified. And that's the next section I was going to talk about really quick before we move on to what it actually looks like to work this business.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I don't even know if anybody can like see this. I need to post this in Builders, but I love this from Life Steps because it just is so easy. So if you're talking to like a new brand partner and like, this is so easy to make money, like, you can show them, like, if you enroll 1, you're earning $75, you know, all the way down to enroll 10 that month, you're earning $750. So somebody enrolling 1 is doable, right? If you're working this business, enrolling 1 is doable every month. if you have somebody that has a bigger reach, enrolling 10 may be completely doable for them. And that $750, that's life-changing money. So even enrolling 2, enrolling 3, earning $100, $200, like $225 is awesome. So I keep that on my phone and I love to show that to people. Like if you have a mom that wants these thieves products, like you're going to earn $75 from that. So it's a handy little, I don't know if I ever posted it in Builders. I will if I haven't yet, but it's from Life
I'm gonna
Steps.
post those with the replay for this too, just so that they're easy for people to find. But yeah, and then speaking of Life Steps, that was the next thing that I really wanted to go over, is that Life Steps is an app that was created by the Kreitz family, and it is the most amazing app. When Emily and I started this business, well, we didn't start Young Living, but when we first got into this, there wasn't, social media had just really gotten popular. Like people just started social selling. It wasn't a big thing. And we had to create Emily created all of the graphics, like every graphic. Like we would just tag teamed it. Like we would write curriculum and she would do the graphics and I would write, we would both write curriculum. Like it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, but it was
do you remember the website we had? Like people had to log into a website to download and get all of our curriculum and graphics. And that was a labor of love.
Yeah, it was. And it was fun. Like it really was fun because everything was so brand new and exciting, but it was very laborious. It took a lot of time, and it took a lot of time away from being face to face with people and signing people up and the real fun of the business. So, now, if you have Life Steps, like for one thing, everyone who even is a Young Living member needs to have Life Steps, because you can learn everything about the products that you ever wanted to know from Life Steps. Like there are tons of classes and graphics and everything, but also there are tons of business resources in there. Just even a website. Like if you have a pro membership, then you have a website that's just already made for you, and it has your name and your number. Like there's so much with it. And when you first look at it, you might be like, this seems complicated. I promise you that it's not, because I am not someone to stick with complicated technology stuff. I will not do it. But Life Steps has literally made my life so much easier. A lot of the classes that we post, a lot of the curriculum that we have in Essential Families is directly taken from Life Steps. Like I literally just download it and then put it in Essential Families on the Facebook page. And a lot of the things that I share with new members or prospects or whatever, it's all on the Life Steps app. So if that's not something that you have, you really need to go and download it. And there's a free version, which is awesome. It has a lot of content, but there's also a version that's a pro version. That's the one that I was talking about. And if you're a brand partner, I really suggest that you get it. It's $8.99 a month. And then, but there's a discount if you get it, if you pay for it quarterly. So I think it's like $24 or $25 a quarter. And I highly suggest that you guys do that. And the other thing about that is I am going to ask for a couple of volunteers on some questions that we have coming up. And if you are willing to share, then I would like to gift you, Emily and I would like to gift you a month to try the Life Steps Pro app if you don't already have it. And if you do have it, we'd still like to gift you. We still can gift you a month of it, even if you're paying for it every single month. So think about that whenever I have these questions coming up. I'm going to share with you really quickly what I did in the very beginning. I wrote all these things down whenever I had just hit silver, whenever I was just training people how to be a brand partner. And I look at this often because these are still things that I do. They just became habits. You guys know how you form habits just by doing things over and over. And then once it becomes a habit, you just really don't even think about it anymore. So I look at these things and I'm like, I still literally do these things, even, 10 years later, I'm still doing these things. But these are the things that I did in the very beginning. I was homeschooling at the time. I had 4 kids at the time, homeschooling, ministry partner with my husband, like just really super busy, but I still made time to do these things. And this is what grew me, just doing these things probably, plus, providing resources and creating community. We it's what grew me to gold and maybe platinum with the business. And of course I don't have my glasses on now, this is small, but okay. So every day, so I have once a day, once a week, and once a month things that I did. And I'll post this with the follow-up too. And you guys might've seen this before, but this is, I mean, it's so simple. I feel like we way overcomplicate this job. But so once a day, diffuse oils, use oils, check in on the Facebook group, and post whenever I can. Like that's like once a day. I was like, I will do all these things. I'm committed to diffusing my oils, using my oils, checking the Facebook group, and then posting whenever I can. And then once a week, I would do, oh my goodness, I can't even believe that I don't have my glasses with me. Do you have that in front of you, Emily? Do you have your notes? You have these, do you have these notes? I printed it so small.
Probably. Let me grab it. Hold on.
See, this is one of those things where like, if I can make it to diamond, any of you, I can't even read my
Oh
notes.
gosh. I've got my readers right here. Okay. Once a week. Am I?
Yeah, once a week.
Okay. Once a week, one Facebook post, one IG post, pin YLEO ideas on Pinterest, try a new oil or recipe, share results with one new person, check in with leaders under me, research oils and guide or online. And then once a month, share your newsletter, your own or your uplines, do your loyalty rewards order, share info about your ER order, loyalty rewards order, check your downline and arrange your structure. So in case you need to strategically place anybody, teach or attend a class in person or online, and sign up at least one person.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's pretty much it. And I would say even before this, and what ended up making it kind of an accidental business for me was just, I had a health problem that I was tackling. I had major health issues that I was tackling. And so figuring that out, like doing all the research myself and being committed to my own health and figuring out what was going on with me and figuring out what products to use and oils, and then just being a product of the product, like that was what came before this. So I've said this from the very beginning, and I will always say this. I don't recommend this business to anyone who just wants to make money, who sees it as a way to make money, and they don't really care about oils and products. They don't really care about a low tox lifestyle. I don't really recommend this business to them. I recommend this business to people who are about getting healthy. They're about the low tox lifestyle. They actually have used the products and they have some testimonies, because if you don't have testimonies, if you don't have your own stories that you have to share about it, then it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, it's not like you can't do it. There are plenty of people who have, but it's going to be much easier for you if you have your own stories and your own testimonies, or even if they're not from you personally, if they're from your family members or your friends or people that you've helped, or, things like that. So the main thing I would say is, in the very beginning of this business, your whole job is to use the oils, use the oils and products, figure out what works for you, keep a journal, like figure all that stuff out. And then you're going to have like a really firm foundation for moving forward is my biggest advice. And then that moves me into you guys sharing. And like I said, like if you're willing to share, like I would love to gift you a month of Life Steps. So here's the first question. Who wants to share one simple, successful way that you got started sharing, or you got started in the business? Like just a simple way. Everyone's like smiling, like, I'm not going to call on you.
I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
I have a really big family, so it was honestly easy for me to tell them about it and sign them up, and they are just always supportive. So they kind of just did it to support me in the beginning, and now they're realizing it actually works. And so one success story, I guess, is my sister. She's just hooked on the Progessence Plus because it completely helped her. completely. I mean, I didn't share the starter bundles in the beginning. I think that's where I could have done better, but she just completely is a believer with that. And she's a very big skeptic, my big sister. So that's just one way I shared.
So with your family, like you started with your family first.
I did, yeah. My
Yeah.
mom and my sisters, because it was less scary, I guess. I'm not even a big salesperson. That's what I don't like about this. I'm actually not at all. That's what discouraged me for 2 years. I don't want to sell these things, but I
Yeah.
can't keep it to myself anymore. And I'm just ready to jump in and share with so many more people. So it
I
was
love that.
easiest for me to get over that fear with my sisters and my mom.
Right. Well, and I think that's where we need to start. I mean, we need to start with our family and the people who trust us, and we're learning together with them. And so that's amazing. And you just happened to start when we didn't have the starter bundles.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's a reason why you weren't sharing it. Like it wasn't really a thing. And so now it's back. So now you get to go back to those same people and be like, hey, this wasn't a thing really, but now it is again. And you really like to get a foundation. We need to get this in your hands, especially because they can put it on loyalty rewards. So if they're on loyalty rewards already, they can just slip it in. That can be their whole order, for 1 month.
Totally. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and then here's the next question. Who is willing to share what a typical work day, and we all know this isn't like typical work, but what a typical work day looks like for you?
I'll go. So I have a full-time job, but I've been building a business for 8.5 years. And I also have 3 kids who are now 12, 13, and 17. So my day is very full. But I have built myself to gold. I have built a team to gold. So it is possible working full time. It's just finding the time in your day to be devoted to building your business. So for me, that looks like making sure that I'm using my oils, developing testimonies for our kids, our families, and sharing about that on social media, sharing about it with anybody who will listen. A lot of times, finding a need and filling a need. If I hear, like, I had the same thing that Emily did, I had it last week. Just cruddy stuff, and I had the thieves chest rub with me at work, and a nurse came up to me and she's like, I've watched your post. I work in the schools, and she said, I've watched your post, and my son has really bad asthma, and he has trouble, and he has to have an inhaler. And I'm like, well, we went through that with our youngest for several years before he started using oils. And so I gave her Thieves Chest Rub to try. And what is she going to do? She's going to sign up because it worked. And so that's my biggest thing is when somebody says something, I'm going to offer them oils. They don't want them, that's fine. But there are so many people that do. They're going to see how they work and they're going to use them. So also, for me, most of my work is done in the evenings. It's emailing people. I depend on Project Broadcast, which you may not have heard of. It's a texting platform that I use because I can schedule things. So I do a lot of follow up through that with my team. I have my whole team on there. But I send them a weekly tip text, and then they ask me questions on there, and I'm quick to respond to them. And then I send out an email, try to send out an email once a week to my team, and then just try to hop on Essential Families and comment on things when I see things that I can comment on. And try, because I know that my people are going to see it. If they see me active in the group, they're going to see the group because I'm friends with them on Facebook. And so I had somebody text me earlier saying, thank you for what you said about your knee and Regenolone, because if you look at the Young Living website, Regenolone says it's a moisturizing cream. It is way more than a moisturizing cream. So just, when you develop those testimonies, popping on and commenting on people's posts, helps pull your people to see those posts and those answers. Also, I have what I call a snack and chat once a month, where I have everybody come over to my house that will come. And it's about building community. It's about being around your friends and fellowshipping. And I ask everybody to bring a snack if they can. And then I pick the topic of what we're going to talk about that night. Tomorrow night, we're talking about healthy hormones because it's February. And everybody walks away with a little gift. And it's like no pressure, but it's a great way for people to hear about things, and just have some conversation, and people can see how the oils can impact their lives. So I have to be really intentional with my time because my time is very limited. We have two kids in sports, and then of course our 17-year-old she's a senior this year. There's just a lot always going on. And so if you are working full time, you can build a business. You just have to be very intentional with the time that you have.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that like the main point that I got from what you said is just being available and being willing to share like all the time, because you have a full-time job, you have all these other activities that you're doing, but you don't compartmentalize, you're not compartmentalizing it. So those of you who are open about your faith, I mean, it just reminds me of that. Like, you don't compartmentalize and be like, I'm only, this is the time that I share about my faith with people. When the opportunity arises, you share. And that's what I'm seeing from you. Like, when the opportunity arises, you share. You're always ready to share. And I think that is a huge key to this business, and being like, let it, like what your daily should look like. It doesn't have to look like regimented. There's a reason why we want to work for ourselves. There's a reason why we want time freedom. We want it to be about relationships. We want to make a difference in people's lives. And so if we can just be ready to have those conversations and not afraid of being salesy. I resonate with what Jill said. And I mean, I know you feel the same way, Melanie, because I was a teacher before all of this, and I was sales was never in my frame of reference. I don't want to sell. You don't have to sell. You just have to share, and you just have to be willing to share your life and care enough about people. And that's another reason why I say it's important for you to build your own testimonies, because if you know in your heart, like, that these things work for you, then whenever someone has a need, like the original loan story, like if someone has a need, you care about them, you want to share with them. You're not selling to them. You're not selling them something that they don't need. You're actually impacting their life in a meaningful way, which is incredible. So if you can look at it that way, instead of like, I'm selling something to them. That was how I used to in the beginning, when I did start thinking about teaching. And as long as I stayed in the zone and I really just kept focused on that, it was fine. But anytime I started thinking about the sale, like I need this sale, that's whenever I would just freak out.
You have to take away the sale part, and the more that you share with people, they're going to come to trust you, and they're going to see you as a person who knows what you're talking about. Like, the stories that I could tell you about what we have done with our kids, and I know Gina and Emily and Jessica can tell you too, because they've all had these stories. I don't know everybody else on here, sorry, but I know them. And I mean, like, when I'm telling somebody, use this Steve's chest rub on your kid's chest because they're coughing all night long, I'm telling you because I care about your child not being up all night long coughing, because it's hard on everybody in the house when that happens. And I know from experience that the products can make that difference. And I know what it's like to have a baby on steroids, and it sucks, and I hated it. But we didn't have oils at the time. And so we developed those testimonies by using the products. And anytime that when we first started, we bought the starter kit because that was what we did back then. And every time, instead of going to the medicine cabinet for over the counter stuff, I went to my oils and tried to figure out what I could use them for. And then I was buying something new every month. We got on Essential Rewards a week after we got our kit, because I knew the possibilities and saw that I was going to want more of these things. But I bought something new every month until I developed our cabinet and was getting so many free things, um, just so that we could develop a new testimony every time.
Yeah. I mean, that is huge. That is huge,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have like something in particular that you're tackling. Like, I mean, I had something in particular that I was tackling, and I didn't even try to help my husband or my kids until I figured out my own health stuff, because I literally had to figure out my own health. And then after that, they were like, I mean, he was like, hey, help, are you going to help me out here? Like, surely you have something that can help me. And then it moved from tackling health problems to prevention and staying above the wellness line, which is, I'm happy to say, is where we are now, unless we run into a roadblock. But yeah, I mean, it's all about trying different things and seeing what works. And it's always, it's a little bit shocking when it works. I always think about that story, Emily, whenever you, not to put you on the spot, but I love to put you on the spot. But whenever you were like, told me the story about Cademan and the Dijais, when it was so funny. It was so many years ago. She still lived in Texas. I can't remember when it was, but she was so worried about him. Can I tell the story? Do I have your permission to tell the story? Okay. So she was so worried because he had, she was like, it was like the second, tell me if I'm botching it. It was like the second or third time that it had happened, where he had woken up in the middle of the night and vomited, and then vomited once, but then didn't vomit again. And so she went to Google and like Googled it, and she was like, I think he's something with his brain, like I think he has a brain tumor. Like, I'm pretty sure he has a brain tumor, because that is a sign if you vomit once and you don't vomit again. And I was like, well, did you do anything? Like, did you use any oils, or did you do anything like to help him whenever after he vomited? She was like, I mean, yeah, like I put Dijai, like she's like, I used Dijais on him. And I'm like, do you think that the Dijais maybe worked and that he doesn't have a brain tumor? And I mean, she was about to take him to get, you were about to take him to get like an MRI or something. It's funny now. It was not funny at the time, but you were panicked. You were like, I think I need to take him in to get an MRI. Like, you were so worried. And then I'm like, maybe it's the Dijais. Let's just see if it happens the next time. But I mean, really, like that, we have those testimonies with Dijais too. Like, it's crazy. Like the things that you don't, even when you're doing it, because we're not, and especially when you've been raised on Western medicine, like you don't believe, even though it's worked in other areas, you're like, it's not going to work in this area or whatever. It's just hard to believe. But anyway, do you remember that, Emily?
Oh yeah. He hasn't had that since. So it was like a fluke over the course of like a couple months. He like threw up a couple times.
How old was he? That was a long time ago.
My first year. So, I mean, he's almost 19 now. He's doing well.
Right.
No brain tumor. But also he was my one kid that like made me realize, oh my gosh, these oils are actually working, because he got sick on New Year's Eve. Like, we signed up in 2013. And then that New Year's Eve, like, 10, 11 months later, he got sick. And I remember him being so upset because he wasn't going to be able to go do whatever New Year's Eve things that we had. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is like the first real sickness we've had since I've got these oils, like, and since I've been consistently using them. And it just was like a wake up call for me then, like, oh, like I knew they were working, but like, when you look back and you're like, oh, wow, like we haven't had any, strep or, flu or whatever for so long, they work.
Yeah. And that was the whole reason why you decided to start sharing. And you're the one who told me to get my diffuser, because when I signed up, it didn't even come with a diffuser. And so we were using them all topically and internally. We didn't even have a diffuser. And then Emily was like, you really need a diffuser.
Well, you had a diffuser, but because you brought it to Flourish, that's how you got me signed up.
I had one.
Yeah.
And then you got the one. And then Emily,
we had to buy with a coupon. Like, you had to turn a coupon in, like in your kit came a coupon that you had to like mail in that said, yeah, I want a diffuser. Here's my $40. Like, it was so old school. but I had one diffuser and I would just move it from room to room. Like I have 6 kids and they all shared rooms. So I had 2, 2, and 2. And I'd put, when they first went to bed, I'd leave it in there for an hour or 2 and then move it to the next kid's room and then move it to the next kid's room. And then I also used to put it on thieves on like cotton balls and put them in the vents of my kids' rooms and on the fans, so that I was like, just get thieves into my kids' rooms somehow, some way. But this is off topic.
I mean, it's not though. I mean, that's the thing. Like, she's frugal mom. Like she's still like, even where she is now, she's still the most frugal person I know. But like, I mean, that was how much she knew that it worked, that she was willing to move the one diffuser from room to room to room. And also back then you couldn't get diffusers on Amazon. You couldn't find them anywhere. They were expensive. They were $80 or more. And so that was that was gold. So you would just be like, okay, you get it for this long, and then I'm going to take it to the next room. But I didn't even have a diffuser for the longest time. And after she told me her stories, I was like, okay, I need to start doing this, because same thing. I had 4 kids and they were sick from October to March. They were literally sick and passing things between one another until we started diffusing thieves in their rooms every single night. And yeah, every once in a while somebody gets sick, but not everybody does because of oils. And so it's so worth it. How much time do we have? I've got a couple more questions. Okay, we've got 15 more minutes. All right. Have any of you current brand partners had misconceptions in the past about actually doing the business that you feel like have been dispelled since you are doing the business? Does that make sense? So like before doing the business, kind of like what I said, how like I hated network marketing and I never wanted to be a part of network marketing. And then all of a sudden you have one, Jessica. Do you want to share? Okay, go for it.
Can you hear me? That's me. I actually had 2 previous experiences. One when I was about 20, 21 years old, and one just prior to Young Living that kind of left a really bad taste in my mouth. And so I was one of the ones that was like, yeah, I'm not doing this as a business. And my enroller was just like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm positive. But what happened was, and I feel like it's a typical story for almost everyone who says, I'm not doing this as a business. What happens is you share anyway. I was sharing the heck out of Stress Away, and I would invite like my friends over and we would make bath salts and rollers, and we were just having fun. And after doing that for like, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half, they were like, so you're almost at senior star and you're not doing anything. So I was just literally sharing. Would you like to maybe try doing this as a business and see if you can actually make something happen? And so I actually started paying attention to what I was doing and putting my mind to it. So now it's something different, but I fought it for probably almost 2 years, because I just, it was a lot of pressure tactics, salesy, cold calls, text everybody, all the crazy things that I don't want any part of. And I've realized you don't have to be that way. You just tell your story and you share, and you have your friends over and put Deep Relief on their neck or Stress Away, and it just kind of naturally happens. So yeah, I'm not going to do it girl. And now I am. So
I love it. And so do you think there's truth to the misconception? Like about network marketing? Do you think there's truth to it in general, but your experience has been different? Or do you think that it's just a complete misconception?
So I think that it's probably company based, but not just necessarily company based. I feel like it's also maybe like whoever the promoter or enroller or whatever you want to call them is, whatever their tactic is what they're going to put on you. And then you feel like you need to do what they say. And I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I just knew that it didn't feel right. It felt icky. It felt like I was like terrorizing people into purchasing a product. And that was just horrifying. And I see other businesses out there that I don't really have anyone that's like been beating me down or anything, but I still get a lot of, hey, I saw you as a possible mutual friend. So nice to meet you. And then the next day it's, I sell this. Would you like to have a party? Or I sell that. Would you like to be put in my group? And I'm like, this just feels icky to me. And I'm not saying no one in Young Living ever does that, but I feel like in general, we are creating an atmosphere of people that want to share naturally and without all of that pressure. And it just, I think it draws people in and it makes them trust us a little bit more. I may have done myself a little bit of a disservice probably the first couple years because I was a little timid about sharing because I didn't want to be that salesperson. And now I'm just like, look, you don't have to take it if you don't want it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to roll this on your neck and you're going to feel better tomorrow. And if you want it, then you can call me. But if you didn't like it and it didn't work, that's okay too. And I just move on, and now people just trust that I'm telling them the real thing. And if they don't want it, I'm not going to like shun them from my life, that they're still my friend. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's a misconception, but it's based on, I feel like each company is a little bit different. So I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I get it. I mean, there's a reason, like for every stereotype out there, for every misconception, for whatever, fill in the blank, there's a reason why it's there. But we don't have to be that. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about this company is that most of the people who are brand partners, I mean, I would say 95 to 98% of the people, maybe even higher than that are brand partners, actually use, love, believe in these products. Like they have huge testimonies. And so that's huge. You're not just selling. I mean, and it's not bad if you're selling. I'm not going to even name anything because I don't want to, put anybody down, but it's not, you're not selling something that people don't need, that won't like really make their lives better. So we can have confidence in that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that,
You're
Jessica.
welcome.
I just want to say one thing too. I love that with Young Living, like when we're like at a corporate event or convention or whatever, like corporate from the stage is not encouraging us to sell that way. Like they agree that it's icky, and that's not the case for other MLMs or network marketing companies. And, where they're encouraging the drama, they're encouraging to, oh, they're going to have a bad year, so let's go after them, like they're just like, let's just keep our competitor's name out of our mouths and let's move on. Like I love that about Young Living and about corporate, just continuing to push us down the right path and focusing on who we are and what our products are, not what the other company has or doesn't have. Right. So
100%.
you're in a good place.
100%. I mean, that is huge, especially in the past year or so. Like it's huge, like for me to watch the response, from corporate, and it has been amazing. Okay. Who wants to share one what time is it? Okay. We have like 9 minutes. Who wants to share one piece of advice that you would give a brand new brand partner? I mean, and you could even share, Emily, but like anybody, like any one piece of advice.
Use your products every day, every single day. Use your products.
Definitely.
And use them in public. Use them in the grocery store line, use them at the playground, use them at your job, use them wherever you are and people are around you.
I can't tell you how many sales I have made just from, I don't even smell myself anymore because I use so many oils, but like just from like people, I don't mean like smell myself. I just mean, I can't smell that I'm so aromatic, but like literally so many people being like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? Like, what is that? Like, oh, you smell, and I'm like, I actually don't know. Like usually I actually don't know what, because I have so many different things, because it is such a part of my routine. But I'll be like, I know that I have, and I'll like name a couple, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, where can I get that? Because, whatever. And even especially patchouli, like I wear patchouli a lot, and there is a difference in pure patchouli and like the hippie patchouli or whatever, and they'll be like, you smell so good, like this is like the best smell of patchouli, like this is like the best version of patchouli. And so I'm like, it's because it's Young Living, like like it's not cut, there's nothing added to it or whatever. And so anyways, yes, 100%, Melanie, use your stuff. And don't forget, when you're sick, the biggest time I forget, honestly, myself, the only time really that I forget to do my oily routine is when I am really sick myself, which is only a couple times a year. But it's like I lose my brain. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what to do. What were you going to say, Emily? I saw you unmuted yourself.
Yeah. Now my dog's barking. So sorry. Oh, I was going to say to not be timid about saying what you do when you're asked what you do. Like for the years, I was like, oh, I have a home-based business, no big deal, even though it was like making our entire income, right? Like I was so like, I just made myself really small. And so to just be proud of what you're doing, figure out like what it is you'll say when people ask you, because they're going to ask you. And this is what I would tell a new brand partner. Just be confident when someone says, oh, what do you do? I sell Young Living essential oils. We have tons of health and wellness products. And that's like, just be confident about it. Because for years I shrunk myself, even though I was making the money in our household. And it was a very successful business, but I still just shrunk myself because I was nervous of what people would say or think, or that they would think I was part of a pyramid scheme or whatever, right? Or one of those crazy network marketing things. So I just kept myself small. But now I love telling people what I do. And so to find a clever way to describe what you do or whatever, just to get people's attention, but to not shrink yourself.
I love that advice. And also like, I love the idea of a clever way, but also to not mask it. So there's someone that I work with in one of my networking groups who actually sells, I won't even say the name, but it's another network marketing company, but it's skincare. And so she, and when people say, what do you do? And even when we go around the table and everyone says what she says, I'm a skincare professional and I work in the skincare industry. And it's so vague that it's also not appealing to people. I mean, she's amazing, like at what she does. She really is. I'm not putting her down, but every time she says it, I'm like, I'm a skincare professional in the skincare industry. You sell, these products. Just say you sell these products, because everyone knows the name of these products. And there are probably like 15 people in this room that might want those products. Just say the name of it. Like, don't like, so get creative, but definitely like what Emily said, like I sell essential oils and products. I sell Young Living essential oils and products, like, or whatever you say, but make sure that they know what you do. And I felt the same way. I mean, I had the same issue for so long. Now I just say it. But I mean, it's easy to say after, I guess if it's been 10 years, like, what is it, 11 years for me? So yeah, after that long, it's easy to say it, but I wish I would have started in the very beginning. So that's great advice, Emily. Thank you. Okay, guys. I think we are closing out. Yep. It's 8:26. I am going to send those of you who shared a month on the Life Steps app. And is there
Can I say something really quick before we exit? Like, I would love, so we're going to meet again next month. I would love for, the 9 of you, or 7 besides me, and you and I too, Gina, we need to do this too. But I would love for the 9 of us to go over the next couple weeks and do something for our business that we haven't done before. So maybe that's teaching an online class, or finally using Project Broadcast or sharing with that target person that you see every week or whatever it is that like can get you further to your goal, which is, of course, we want to share Young Living with as many people as we can, but would really encourage you to just step outside your comfort zone, try something new. I think we can get really bogged down and tired because we feel like, oh, I've been doing this for years and nothing's happening, or it's the same as it was a couple years ago, or whatever, or I'm not seeing any growth. What are you actually doing? What are you doing besides, yeah, you need to check into your groups. You need to check in with your people. Are those things going to build your business? No, you have to be actively recruiting other people, recruiting in a good way, right? You have to be actively bringing new people into your team, whether that's through you or whether that's through your team members bringing new people in. But some way, somehow, you have to be sharing. And you have to be encouraging your team to share. So maybe it's even having like a quick like Zoom call with your own brand partners and saying, hey guys, let's each of us share to 5 people this month, you know, and then come back and tell us about it. How awkward was it? Or how amazing was it? And so anyways, I would encourage us to do the same. What can we do that would step us outside of our comfort zone? If you always do X, Y, and Z, what is something different that you can do that could hopefully break you out of that X, Y, and Z cycle that maybe isn't getting you where you want to be? So think about that. You have a couple weeks. And then if you're on our call next time, maybe we can hear what you did, or even share it in the group. Like, I would love to hear like, okay, I stepped out of my comfort zone and I hosted the class that I keep meaning to host. I had 5 ladies over and it was awesome. Like, share that in our builders group because it's encouraging to all who will read it. So that's my one piece that I wanted to share.
Okay, challenge accepted. I'm accepting the challenge. Who else is accepting the challenge? Yay! All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much for being on this call, and we'll post it in the group. And send me your if you're one of the ones that talked, DM me your member number. I mean, I know I can find it, but if it's just quicker if you DM me your member number, and then I can go ahead and gift you those Life Steps apps. All right, thanks guys. See you next time.